What's going on, everybody? We got some Guns N' Roses news today, and as you guys know, Guns N' Roses are going to be playing Osaka today if you're in Japan, or I guess tomorrow if you're living where I am. We've got some photos of Axl Rose. So this is some photos of him just signing fans for autographs. I think this is them at the Intercontinental Hotel in Osaka, Japan. That's where people were claiming the band was staying. We've also got some photos of the venue as well, and it's going to be a pretty huge stadium that these guys are going to be playing to. As you guys know, Guns N' Roses played Osaka back in 2009. I believe it was one of the first concerts that Guns played after Chinese Democracy came out. Axl was a hermit for like a year. Nobody saw him in 2008 and 2009 until he showed up at the airport and clocked that paparazzi photographer in the face. And then I think he was on his way to play some shows in Japan, I think South Korea around that time. If you guys haven't seen that live performance, there's the full live recording. I don't think it's a pro shot, but it's pretty good quality. They've got tons of Chinese Democracy songs on the set list for that show, and Axl's voice sounded really good. Then we got some follow-up to that Tommy Stinson interview that he gave to The Observer. He was talking about working with Paul Westerberg, of course, of The Replacements, Solace Albums, Dave Pirner, and then, of course, Axl Rose. And he was talking about Axl Rose's peculiar problems in the studio, mostly just referencing the fact that as a musician, it's really hard to get ideas in your brain onto a record. So if you guys want to read the article, I've linked to it down below. Let's go on to our next piece of news. So we have an interview with Lars Ulrich. He was talking about how there's really no new bands that inspire him. He said there's no new acts inspire him like GNR, Nirvana, or Oasis today. He said, in an interview he did with Noisey, the drummer said 10 years ago or 30 years ago it was different. Like, oh my God, Guns N' Roses, oh my God, who are these Nirvana guys, and Oasis. He continued, you were hearing about it, and if you wanted to meet them, nowadays there aren't any bands that have had an impact on me. The last time where I was like, holy F, this really inspires me was the band called The Sword from Austin, Texas. They're basically a stoner rock band, kind of modern Black Sabbath, super cool. They showed up 7 or 8 years ago, and I just had to bring those guys on tour. The always outspoken rocker also added, there's this Norwegian band called Kurveltak. These bands are few and far between these days. This is not a black and white statement anymore. I know more about film than I do about music because I follow it more. That doesn't mean that if something is awesome, came and slapped me in the face, that I wouldn't embrace it. It just shows up less and less. And I kind of agree with him. I don't really listen to a lot of modern rock these days, largely because there's not a lot of bands that interest me, or maybe they're just not on my radar. So that does it for today's news, guys. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. There's going to be a podcast on my channel talking about all things Guns N' Roses very shortly. Thanks for watching, guys. And as always, make sure you subscribe for the latest Guns N' Roses news. And make sure you follow me on Twitter at Guns N' Roses Daily. Take care.